making headlines. The president affirms the support and commitment of the Maldivian government to strengthening SAARC. Maldivian High Commission in the UK requests all Maldivians residing in the UK to register in the High Commission. And the national airline Maldivian announces a temporary suspension of its flights to Dhaka, Bangladesh.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Hello and welcome to PSM News in English with me, Mariam Shamshat. President Dr. Mohamed Muizzu affirms the support and commitment of the Maldivian government to strengthening the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation SAARC. He made the remarks during a meeting with the Secretary General of SAARC, Gholam Sarwar. Secretary General Sarwar, who assumed charge as the 15th Secretary General of the SAARC in October 2023, paid a courtesy call on President, where he briefed the President on the various programs of SAARC being carried out to benefit member countries. He noted that the government of Maldives has been fully committed to SAARC since its inception in 1985 and has contributed to its development. In addition to affirming the support and commitment of the Maldives to strengthen the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, President Muizzu expressed his hope for regional cooperation in trade. Maldives is one of the founding members of SAARC, which was formally established with the signing of the SAARC Charter in Dhaka on 8 December 1985. The Secretary General of SAARC arrived on an introductory visit to the Maldives on August 5th. He is scheduled to conclude his visit and depart on August 8th. The High Commission of the Maldives in the United Kingdom requests all Maldivians residing in the UK to register in the High Commission.
The Commission revealed that individuals can register themselves via the consular email and urged all to contact the High Commission in emergency situations. The call for registration comes in response to recent unrest in the UK. Violent protests have erupted in Sunderland, a northeast city in the UK, following the killings of 3 children in Southport. These events were fueled by misinformation circulating on social media, which inaccurately identified the suspect as a Muslim migrant. Anti-immigrant demonstrators threw stones at police in riot gear near a mosque in the city before overturning vehicles, setting a car alight and starting a fire next to a police office. The demonstration in Sunderland was one of more than a dozen planned by anti-immigration protesters across the UK, including the vicinity of at least 2 mosques in Liverpool, the closest city to where the children were killed. Several anti-racism counter-protests were also planned. British police have been deployed extensively and mosques are implementing increased security measures. Due to the anti-Muslim protests currently occurring in the country, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has urged all Maldivians residing and travelling to the UK to remain cautious, especially those residing in Southport and nearby areas. The ministry urged all Maldivian citizens in the UK to adhere to the guidance provided by the High Commission. It emphasized the importance of remaining vigilant, staying informed about the evolving situation, and prioritizing personal safety. It also recommended avoiding areas of unrest, particularly Southport, and adhering to directives from local authorities. Maldivians requiring additional support are encouraged to reach out to the High Commission directly.
The national airline Maldivian announces a temporary suspension of its flights to Dhaka, Bangladesh. The airline disclosed that the stoppage is effective immediately and will be resumed on a later date, which will be announced later. The suspension is attributed to the current political instability in Bangladesh. The emerging political unrest have grown, leading to the resignation of the country's Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Maldivian flights operate to Bangladesh once a week. The airline also operates international routes to Trivandrum, Cochin and Bangalore in India. Minister of Economic Development and Trade Mohammed Said states that efforts are underway to open a branch of a Chinese bank in the Maldives. The statement was made by the minister during the Maldives-Sichuan Trade and Investment Corporation conference.
Speaking at the ceremony, Minister Said highlighted the free trade agreement FTA between the Maldives and China will be implemented next month, emphasizing the importance of businesses to be aware of the opportunities this agreement will present. Hence, decisions have been made to hold a workshop to provide businessmen with pertinent information on the opportunities. The minister also noted that the Maldives will undoubtedly experience several benefits following the implementation of the free trade agreement. Additionally, Minister Said disclosed the government is committed to maximizing the benefits for businesses. He mentioned that President Dr. Mohammad Moizu is actively working to establish a branch of a Chinese bank in the Maldives, with preparations for this initiative already underway. The minister also indicated that allowing trade transactions such as purchasing Chinese products in the local currency will help reduce the Maldives' reliance on dollars. Highlighting that trade opportunities worth $1.2 million were currently in China's Sichuan province, Minister Said stated that the government is exerting maximum efforts to establish a favorable environment for trade activities. The Maldives Sichuan Trade and Investment Cooperation Conference aims to enhance bilateral relations and was attended by some cabinet ministers as well.
Minister of Climate Change, Environment and Energy, Tariq Ibrahim, states that the South Asian Regional Energy Partnership, SAREP, will enable the labeling of more energy-efficient products. He made the statement at the inauguration ceremony of the SAREP project. Speaking at the inauguration ceremony, Minister Tariq noted that there are 3 types of goods available in the Maldives. As such, he noted that the newly inaugurated project will start labeling electronic water heaters, water pumps and ceiling fans in the country. He highlighted the country's efforts to generate energy and its negative impact on the economy and the environment. The minister also added that the government is working to make 33% of the energy used for electricity generation renewable, and that the new project will be an additional force in achieving this goal. SAREP is a program of the United States Agency for International Development, USAID, that promotes the renewable energy industry in South Asian countries. Minister Tariq signed the agreement of the program on behalf of the Maldivian government. On behalf of USAID, Acting Mission Director for India and Bhutan, Alexandria Huata, and the Mission Director for Sri Lanka and the Maldives, Gabriel Grau, signed the agreement. After the ceremony, technical sessions were held to share information on various activities to be conducted in the Maldives under SAREP. As such, the sessions covered energy regulation, changes in energy demand, roadmap for smart meter rollout and labeling of electronic goods. The ceremony was attended by various agencies working in the energy industry, such as the Utility Regulatory Authority, State Electric Company Limited Stelco, Fanuca Corporation, Housing Development Corporation HDC, Maldives Association of Construction Industry, and Maldives Customs Service. Minister of Health Dr. Abdullah Khalil states that the government is working to establish a system to ensure that health facilities do not run out of consumables and reagents. The minister made the statement while responding to a question inquired by the parliamentarian. Minister Khalil noted that running out of consumables or equipment, reagents or substances used to conduct tests is a recurring problem at hospitals and health centers nationwide. He stated that the administration is working to solve the problem by providing the facilities with continuous supply with the help of the State Trading Organization STO. The minister also disclosed that there were pending payments of $19.5 million to STO as health services expenditure when they took office. He stated that the administration has now made most of the pending payments. Additionally, he also stated that the government is working with the private sector to address the issue of limited supply. As such, he disclosed that a special software is being developed to identify the shortages and needs in hospitals and health centers in the islands. Minister of Health Dr. Abdullah Khalil says the previous government presented building designs that are unsuitable for the state. He made the remark while responding to parliamentarian inquiries. During a recent parliamentary session, parliamentarians inquired about the progress of hospitals and health centers planned by the previous administration for various islands. He also said that the implementation of these projects is constrained by budget limitations and insufficient funding. Additionally, Minister Khalil emphasized health facilities should be designed to serve the citizens effectively. He, however, criticized the previous government for constructing office buildings instead. He assured that the current government is committed to building facilities that genuinely serve the public. He also expressed hope that after redesigning, the new service buildings will meet the required standards. Furthermore, Minister Khalil said the previous government's designs for health facilities did not align with the services needed. He said that existing buildings would need to be renovated after certain services are discontinued. He also said the government is making efforts to address the challenges and expedite the development of health centres and hospitals. Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation opens for interested parties to operate helicopter services in the Maldives.
As per the announcement published in the Government Gazette, the Transport Ministry has invited interested parties to submit expressions of interest (EOI) to provide the helicopter services. The decision follows a cabinet discussion on the introduction of helicopter flight services, with the announcement made on January 28th. In the announcement, the ministry plans to use helicopter services for emergency medical transport and to boost the tourism sector. It said that helicopters will facilitate patient transfers, aerial search and rescue operations, and expand the existing air ambulance service, which currently includes Dash 8 aircraft and seaplanes. It also said that a helicopter will be added to this fleet. Additionally, the ministry said that helicopter service will support the tourism sector by transporting tourists across the country with a contract period of 10 years. It also emphasized that helicopter operations must be environmentally sustainable and preserve the natural resources of the Maldives. Minister of Transport and Civil Aviation Mohammad Amin has assured earlier that the service will adhere to the highest safety standards, utilizing the safest twin-engine helicopters available. Helicopter services were previously available in the Maldives from the early 1990s until 1999 under the name Hummingbird. The service was discontinued due to tragic incidents.
Commissioner General of Taxation of the Maldives Inland Revenue Authority (MIRA), Hassan Zarir, reveals that discussions with relevant authorities are underway to take further steps during the enforcement phase to recover the money owed to the state in various ways.
Speaking to PSMNEWS, Zarir provided details about the taxes and non-taxes due to MIRA that have yet to be collected and the ongoing efforts to recover these funds. He revealed the government is owed $500 million in taxes alone, including fines, and $506 million in non-tax revenue from building and land rent. He also highlighted that the largest sums have accumulated during the COVID-19 pandemic. Additionally, Zarir said that some state-owned enterprises, SOEs, and relevant agencies are among those with outstanding amounts. He said that MIRA is collaborating with the Ministry of Finance to establish a uniform procedure for individuals that have not paid. He said that the government is now meeting individually with large debtors to recover these amounts. He also noted an increase in tax revenue received by MIRA last month and emphasized that meetings with taxpayers are resulting in more entering the system, agreeing to tax payment plans and securing commitments from top officials to pay taxes regularly. Furthermore, Zarir attributed the substantial unpaid amounts to the financial challenges businesses faced during the pandemic, which led to the suspension of some enforcement measures. He noted that the action policy in place before 2019, which allowed agencies to check and temporarily withhold services if taxes were due, was discontinued. As such, he said that discussions are being held with the Finance Ministry for the possibility of re-implementing this policy. Moreover, Zarir said that the focus is on recovering money from defaulters by providing necessary concessions within prescribed regulations rather than imposing harsh measures.
The Prosecutor General's Office (PGO) highlights the legal and technical challenges in combating cybercrime. The statement was made during a session with the Parliamentary Judiciary Committee regarding amendments to 3 laws aimed at preventing cybercrime.
The proposed amendments concern the Penal Code, Criminal Procedure Code, and the Act on Mutual Legal Assistance in Criminal Matters. The Judiciary Committee has commenced its review of these bills and has engaged with the PGO for discussions. Speaking to the committee, Public Prosecutor at the PGO, Ahmad Naufal, informed that these amendments would facilitate the prevention of cyber crimes. He explained that under the current legal framework, cases of blackmail and drug offences often go unreported due to insufficient evidence. He attributed this to the lack of information on online transactions conducted through foreign companies. He, however, noted that with the proposed amendments, access to information would be streamlined through companies in countries that are part of the Budapest Convention on Cybercrime. Additionally, Naufal said that the amendments would classify cybercrime as a criminal offence, thereby easing the process of evidence collection. He said that service providers would be empowered to obtain necessary information without a court order, thereby preempting criminal activities. He also said that the amendments would enhance the ability to trace scammers in real time. Furthermore, Naufal pointed out existing legal and technical obstacles such as the absence of regulations and standards for service providers to store information. He said that the inconsistency means that some data might be available while other crucial data might not. He also said that the proposed legal changes aim to establish a reliable system for storing and providing information for specified durations. The PGO emphasized that the Maldives cannot fully participate in the Budapest Convention without these legal amendments.
The Prosecutor General's Office (PGO) proposes an amendment to the Criminal Procedure Act to allow the police to obtain basic information needed to investigate cybercrime cases without a court order. The PGO office has briefed the Judiciary Committee of the Parliament on the amendments.
Speaking to the Judiciary Committee, Public Prosecutor of the Prosecutor General's Office (PGO), Ahmad Naufal, highlighted the importance of communication data and subscriber information in cybercrime investigation and noted the difficulties in obtaining this information. Communication data is information that answers the who, where, and when questions. The subscriber information includes the name in which a phone number is registered, the various accounts associated with the number, and the address where the phone bill is sent. Noting that the current law allows the police officers to obtain such information under court order, Naufal stated that this leads to delays in the investigations as the police must start the investigations right after they receive the report of scam cases. Hence, the proposed amendment aims to make the subscriber information and communication data available to the police without a court order. It also stipulates that network service providers and banks must provide such information to the police with the permission of a certain rank of police officer. There has been an alarming increase in the number of cybercrimes reported in the Maldives. As such, while a total of 1,661 scam cases were reported in 2023, the number of such cases reported in the first 7 months of 2024 is at 1,302. It is reported that $1.3 million was lost from bank accounts in 2023. The amount lost from bank accounts due to scam cases from January 2024 to July 2024 is reported as $846,941. Additionally, 156 scam cases have been filed with the prosecutor's office so far this year.
Ministry of Tourism reveals that the total number of tourist arrivals to the Maldives has reached 1.2 million. It is a 10.3% increase compared to the tourist arrival during the same period last year. The daily updates report released by the ministry indicates that the tourist arrival has continued to increase after experiencing a declining rate in the arrival. The statistics show that the average tourists arriving daily has decreased during May and June. However, the average daily tourists' arrival has increased and is surfacing above 6,577. The report also highlights that Chinese tourists made up the largest portion of arrivals so far this year with 166,000 visitors. Following China, the top sources of tourists included Russia with 129,000 visitors, UK with 107,000 arrivals, Italy with 88,300 visitors, and Germany with 88,000 arrivals. The consistent influx of tourists has motivated the government to set an ambitious target of attracting 2 million tourists by the end of this year. The government reports that it has already achieved 50% of this target within the first 4 months of 2024 and is actively working towards reaching this goal. Global stocks release on August 6th, partly reversing some of the previous day's brutal declines, while the Japanese yen retreated modestly after central bank officials say that all the right things to soothe investor nerves.
The Nikkei soared more than 10% to above 34,500, rebounding sharply from its 31,458 close on August 5. The index plummeted 12.4% in the previous session, in its biggest daily sell-off since the 1987 Black Monday crash. Wall Street also looked steadier, with S&P 500 futures ESC1 up 1%, while Nasdaq futures NQC1 rose 1.4%, and Europe's STOXX 600 index edged up by 0.7%, regaining some stability after a 2.2% drop. In Frankfurt, Analyst Oliver Roth of Oddo BHF Bank said that while the German DAX had made moderate gains in morning trading, there can certainly be no talk of a significant recovery.
Fires burn on the streets of Belfast as riots again swept across towns and cities across the United Kingdom.
Riots also spread to Plymouth in southwest England. Several hundred anti-immigration protesters wearing English and British flags faced off against a greater number of counter-protesters kept apart by police in riot gear. Protesters threw bricks and fireworks and scuffled with police. Sky News said 3 police officers were injured. The fatal stabbing of 3 young girls in the northwest English town of Southport last week has been seized on by anti-immigrant and anti-Muslim groups, with disinformation spread online and amplified by high-profile far-right figures to spark disorder in towns and cities.
West Ham United signs German striker Niklas Füllkrug from Borussia Dortmund on a 4-year deal.
Füllkrug was on the London club's radar before last season but chose to move from Werder Bremen to fellow Bundesliga club Dortmund, where he scored 16 times in 46 appearances across all competitions. Füllkrug said he believes that the Premier League is the best league in the world. He said that it is the right time to move over to England and play for a big club like West Ham. The financial details of the deal were not disclosed, but the Hammers reportedly paid $34.5 million for the German international. The 31-year-old Füllkrug was in Germany's Euro 2024 squad, scoring twice in 5 matches.
The Northrop Grumman Cygnus NG-21 cargo spacecraft successfully docks with the International Space Station ISS, delivering over 8,200 pounds equipment and supplies for scientific experiments.
Launched aboard a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket on August 4, the Cygnus spacecraft, named SS Francis R. Dick Scobie, was captured by the station's Canadarm2 at approximately 7:10 GMT. The docking was overseen by NASA astronaut Matthew Dominic, who used Canadarm2 to secure the incoming spacecraft. This mission supports various scientific investigations, including studies on microgravity's effects on human cells and the fire behavior in space. The spacecraft will remain attached to the ISS for several months before departing with disposable cargo for re-entry into Earth's atmosphere.
And that's all we have for you right now. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more news updates. Have a good evening. Goodbye.